The truth most gardeners never hear is this. Long before fertilizers came in plastic bags and advice came from algorithm-fed videos, gardens were thriving with almost nothing. No synthetic inputs, no complicated schedules, no expensive tools, just deep observation, patience, and methods refined over centuries. And here's the kicker. Many of those forgotten techniques outperform what we rely on today. If you garden for real results and not just aesthetics, you're about to rediscover tools that modern gardening quietly borrowed from the past and never properly credited. Let's get straight into it. Why ancient gardeners understood plants better than we do today. Ancient gardeners didn't grow crops for trends or likes. They grew food to survive. That single fact shaped everything they did. Instead of forcing plants to grow faster, they focused on soil life, plant strength, and long-term balance. They understood that a healthy garden starts underground, not on the leaf surface. This mindset is exactly what many modern gardeners are trying to relearn after years of soil depletion. What makes these old methods powerful is not nostalgia, it's biology. Most of them work because they feed microbes, regulate moisture naturally, and strengthen plants instead of stimulating weak growth. When you apply these techniques today, you're not gardening backward, you're gardening smarter. Mulching with intention, rather than just for decoration, is something ancient gardeners really understood. They didn't mulch just to make their beds look neat. Nope, they mulched to control soil temperature, keep moisture in, and feed all those little organisms living underground. By layering organic material thickly and letting it break down slowly, they created living, breathing soil. So here's how you can mulch with intention. Use dry leaves, straw, or even chopped plant residue, and apply it in a layer that's at least 5 centimeters thick. Make sure to water the soil before you mulch, then cover it up completely. But, leave a little space around the stems. Over time, this layer becomes food for earthworms and microbes, which naturally improves your soil structure. If you find yourself watering all the time, but your soil still dries out fast, well, your garden isn't really thirsty. It's just exposed. Seed soaking methods? Now these can really improve germination naturally. Ancient growers, they understood that seeds are alive long before you ever see a sprout. Soaking seeds before planting was a pretty common practice, waking them up gently and helping them sprout quicker. For most vegetable seeds, just soak them in clean water for about 8 to 12 hours. For the tougher seeds, add a tablespoon of compost or a bit of fermented plant tea to a liter of water and soak for 12 hours. Then, just drain and plant them right away. This simple step, honestly, increases germination rates, cuts down on seedling stress, and helps you get more uniform growth. It's especially handy if you're working with older seeds or gardening in tough conditions. Companion planting is really about survival, not just theory. Long before companion planting became a buzzword, ancient gardeners watched closely to see which plants thrived together year after year. They noticed, how some plants could repel pests, shade the roots of their neighbors, or even improve the soil conditions around them. Instead of relying on complicated charts, they just focused on balance. Tall plants would offer shade, ground plants helped conserve moisture, and flowering plants brought in those beneficial insects. It was all about working with nature, not against it. When you plant with this kind of mindset, your garden starts to regulate itself, rather than needing you to step in all the time. If you find yourself constantly fighting pests, your garden isn't really under attack, it's just out of balance. For natural pest control, ancient gardeners used fermented deterrents. Their approach was based on smell, taste, and just disrupting pests, not trying to wipe them out. They made fermented solutions from strong-smelling plants to confuse and repel insects, not kill them. To make a simple deterrent spray, all you need to do is ferment about 100 grams of crushed garlic in 1 liter of water for 5 days. After that, strain it and dilute by mixing 100 milliliters of the solution with 1 liter of water. Then just spray it on the leaves early in the morning, once a week, during times when pests are a problem. This method doesn't harm your beneficial insects, and it doesn't create resistance either. It just makes your plants, well, less appealing to pests. Resting the soil, just like ancient farmers did, is one of the most powerful and honestly forgotten practices. They would rotate crops and let their beds recover naturally, often covering them with organic matter instead of always planting something new. Even if you have a small garden, letting a bed rest for just 1 season and feeding it with compost and mulch can dramatically restore fertility. If your yields keep dropping even though you're feeding the soil, it's not hungry, it's exhausted. Giving your soil time isn't laziness, it's actually intelligence. These old methods still matter a lot today. Modern gardening often chases speed and looks, but ancient gardening was all about strength and longevity. When you mix today's knowledge with yesterday's wisdom, you get gardens that need less work and honestly give you better results. These methods aren't outdated. They were just forgotten because, well, they don't come in fancy packaging. But once you start using them, you'll notice something that modern solutions rarely offer: consistency. If you want your garden to work with you instead of always needing fixes, these forgotten hacks are where real progress starts. If this guide helped you see gardening in a new way, make sure you subscribe to Crop Corner for more deep, practical growing knowledge that actually works. Share this with a fellow gardener who's tired of chasing quick fixes, and let's bring real wisdom back into our modern gardens.